What's going on, world? It's your boy VO the Face back in the building, man. We are here to discuss all things Broncos, and I got some of my residents here with me. What's going on, Minnie?
What's up, dude? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm ready to talk this Broncos shit. And we brought in our Viking contrarian. We got Gerhard with us. What's going on, Gerhard?
What's up? It's good to be here. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I mean, Gerhard's been a discussion of getting on some of these shows recently, and oddly enough, he's a Vikings team, and that's like, so serendipity because that's where week one started for the Broncos. So let's go ahead and review that game over the weekend, fellas. We'll start with the opposition. As the opposition in this case, Gerhard, how did you feel about the Broncos and the Vikings? It's just preseason, week one game.
Well, for starters, it was good. It was definitely good for Josh because we had went to Vikings Broncos preseason game in Colorado. Ton of fun.
Yeah,
Different result.
We got smoked.
yeah,
Kirk Cousins
I think I
also
was
played
at that
that
one.
game. We
Yeah.
had some starter action, but yeah, it's good that the world can revolve and that it can show both sides of the coin on that one. But yeah, we didn't look good. Rested a lot of starters. It wasn't fun to watch for a Viking fan, but it's something that you just can't buy into it too much.
Yeah, and I mean, some would say that you guys might have had a complete 2 days of practice against us in our joint practice, and that
That's
might
true.
be why you rested some of the starters. Do you believe in any of that? Maybe no Dalvin, no Kirk, because you guys
Maybe a little
performed pretty
bit.
solid.
We're shooken up. You know, the coach is generally an angry feeling guy. He's kind of wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I'm not too worried about that. I'm happy that a lot of those guys got benched. I'm excited to see them play. I don't like what our depth looks like, and you don't ever like to see it when you throw a pick six. But it did look good on the Broncos side of the field.
Yeah.
Promise
Yeah,
you
and
that.
who was that quarterback you guys put out there this week? Number 11.
Yeah.
So Jake, I think it was Jake Browning, and he's one
Yep.
of the only vaccinated quarterbacks. And we had a little COVID scare where a lot of guys missed a lot of practice, and so
Yeah.
he kind of got that spot that way.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the next man up.
Yep. And then the
Yeah,
And
number
man.
11 guy that you were talking about was Kellen Mond. And the whole reason Jake Browning got the start was because Kellen Mond messed up and had like close contact and all sorts of stuff. And that's what put Kirk Cousins out.
yep, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of interesting there. Also, I heard Mike Zimmer. He was really upset at his post game press conference and days after because he was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"We practiced against KJ Hamler all week and we couldn't stop that little kid." This
He's
is what
good.
Yeah.
he said. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, the little kid, Bert, kind of deal. But it all comes down to who's on the other side of the ball. If you execute, it should go well.
Right.
Also, from what I understand, though, me just looking at it because this is preseason, the safety and the corner that were covering that dude were hurt and weren't 100%. So pretty much anybody could have got behind him.
Maybe yeah. And the communication just seemed bad, so I think that would have been
Right.
the case. Kinks that you got to work out in preseason for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the communication might have been poor on the Viking side, but I think Drew Lock told KJ if he sees him shift his hips a little bit, he's going to throw it to him.
He's retrieving
And
them.
the hook route that Jerry Judy ran on the other side brought the other safety up just enough for the second safety to shift his hips to give Drew Lock that look he wanted.
Yep.
Speaking of Drew Lock, what do you think, Minnie, about Drew Lock's performance?
Okay, on Saturday I thought it looked great, and I just said that the corner and the safety were second stringers and may not have been healthy, but it all comes down to who you play against and if you execute on the other side of the ball. Yeah, you could have played better, deeper zone. You don't creep up on a guy like that, but Drew Lock recognized it before the play and during and made the right call, and that's something we haven't seen from him consistently. We've seen some big plays, i.e., last year against our other competing quarterback, Teddy B. Him and KJ had a big 80-yard touchdown that game. Pretty much the same play, just other side of the field. Um, so Drew Lock did diagnose it correctly, and he went through his progressions, which which he did not do very well last year, and it looks good from my standpoint.
Many man, it's only preseason. Are we overreacting from like we're talking about 7 throws? Are we overreacting for Drew Lock's 5 for 7 performance where he was able to muster out 2 touchdowns?
Well, the same thing could be said for Teddy B. I mean, this is a
Hey, we
quarterback
ain't talking about
competition.
Teddy yet.
We're
We
gonna,
talking about Drew
but,
Lock.
but this
It,
comes into play. But this comes into play. Same thing could be said here. All right. I mean, they both had a good game. Teddy B did what Teddy B does, and Drew Lock did what Drew Lock should be doing. He was more explosive, threw less passes, completed less passes, but he was still 80% complete. 5 of 7, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns.
facts,
I
facts.
mean, yeah, like that's what you want to see. That's Mahomes kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
then you
dude. I
got Teddy
mean,
B who
you've
went
seen
7 of 8 for his little dink and dunks and still ran 2 touchdown drives. But the reason we scored the first 2 drives was because of Drew Lock, not because yes, the running game helped, but Drew Lock threw a good pass. Drew Lock rolled out of the pocket and threw that dart to Trinity Benson in the corner of
hmm
the end zone. You know what I mean? That's going through your progressions. And even the plays in between, the 25-yard dart to Hamler and then Judy, it all, you got to take that into account. I didn't see Teddy B do anything like that against the 2s and 3s, which he should light it up. He should
and
light it up.
I could respect your position on this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just like if Vic Fangio ain't gonna compliment Drew Lock, then I'm not. You seen him at halftime. He's
Yeah.
like, well, Teddy's doing all right.
He
Teddy
is.
didn't
And
even
I'm not.
have nothing at halftime,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But one two more questions and then we'll move on from this recap. First to you, Gerhard. On some of those touchdown passes, is that some defenses that you see typical from a Zimmer defense? Or is that just preseason vanilla defense?
Yeah, that's another one I can't. I mean, he wasn't running his normal gaps and his blitzes that he's shooting for. I don't even know what you would call that bunch, but we obviously are having 9 new starting guys on the defense this year, and that's going to bring change.
Yeah.
Along with a big mix of rookies. So again, I think it's communication. They're not doing what coach wants, so it's not a Zimmer defense yet. And
Yeah.
hopefully that's something that is ready after preseason, but it might trickle into week 3 or 4 until that's kind of a unit that's clicking.
Well, we'll see them go, man. The Vikings are one of the harder hitting, better defenses in the league. And this one's for you as well, Gerhard. Was it kind of nice to see Teddy B back out there, man? I know
It
y'all
was.
been through a lot with the boy. I know you've been rooting for him since he left, probably, I
Everybody
assume.
likes Teddy.
What
Coach
do you
loves
think
him.
about Teddy? Was it nice?
Zimmer loves Teddy. He got a standing ovation as soon as they announced him.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd loves Teddy. He's been good everywhere he's gone, at least good to the people and good to the players. And he's a hardworking guy. Yeah, he definitely doesn't have that Drew Lock height in his game, but he is steady Teddy.
Yeah.
He's going to get less turnovers, more or less, but he's going to get less touchdowns too.
Yeah, I mean, we all remember some iconic Teddy moments in that Vikings jersey, including the one where he came back in that game when it was a blowout with Case Keenum and he threw his first pass and it was a pick off, it was a pick. And but I mean, just to see that particular stadium going crazy for the
Yeah.
guy that's now our Denver Broncos co-QB at
I
the
like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
It,
hate Teddy. I do like him, and if he wins, I'm still not going to be mad. But we drafted Drew. That's just where my heart is.
And I
But yeah, I
mean,
do
we're
love
on
Teddy.
the Bronco thing, so we seeing through orange and blue glasses. But I want to ask you, Minnie, what orange and blue storylines do we got for the Broncos coming out of week 1 and through practice going into week 2?
Yeah, I want to talk about something that nobody's really talking about. We signed this guy Graham Glasgow last year, big contract, great guard, like good player, right?
Solid,
Yeah,
solid.
but he got hurt for a few games last year. Dite Moody came in. Now we've got the Belly Quinn Miners coming in, and it seems like there's a lot of guys fighting for jobs there. We're talking about who's going to be the quarterback week 6, 7, 8, and even the running back who's going to be there week 7. I'm talking about who's going to be that right guard week 7 and 8. Like it could be one of any of these 3 players. And Glasgow, the Belly, or
Mhm.
Nitain Mude. All three of them, I think, have potential, and I'm interested to see how that competition shakes out. Just kind of changing the pace. It's all about the quarterback right now, but let's talk about the O line. Like Gerhard, like what do you? I mean, I know you're not big on the Broncos, but you know these guys. Like, do
I
you
know
agree it could be
Glasgow.
interesting?
Would he come from Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit. You know that guy very well. Yeah, Lions,
Yeah.
great dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I
go
don't know
ahead.
Broncos. I don't know Broncos linemen. I remember you had some problems with the left tackle, who's actually I think turning it on last year.
Yeah, he
Yep,
did.
Garrett
Got a big
Bowles
contract. Yep,
Garrett
yep,
Bowles.
yep.
in the
Yeah.
GB zone.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
he was like the most penalized player 2 seasons ago, and last
he
season I
was.
want to
He
say
was. He
there was
was.
good things happening there.
Yeah,
So this is a
yeah.
good
I mean,
topic. The offensive line
the
is definitely
Bronco
treasure.
and I appreciate you going to the trenches and mentioning people like the belly. As a big guy myself, I like to hear us talked about on these radio stations. So, I mean, as far as that goes, I agree with you. The offensive line is going to be huge to what the Broncos have going forward, but they're still wondering at the offensive line who they're going to be opening up holes for. And I want to kind of get your take on that. Royce Freeman, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon situation we got going on. What's going on with that, Minnie?
I'm kind of disappointed in Royce Freeman the last few years. You know, he was a third round running back draft pick. He was great in college. I thought he was going to be the guy. He's been an amazing backup, but he hasn't really done much to like take the next step. Melvin
Yeah,
Gordon's been great. I'm really excited about Javonte Williams. He looked good in the preseason game. Good stiff arm, good read the holes well. You know, knew where he looked like he knew what he was doing, which is pretty rare for a rookie, even a preseason game, especially a running back.
He did look
I'm
good.
really excited about Javonte Williams, and I think it's just a matter of time before he takes the job. Obviously, that's the future. We didn't trade up in the second round to get this guy for no reason.
well,
Um,
I mean, yeah, he's definitely going to be a big player. And as far as fantasy implications from the outside looking in, Gerhard, you're a big fantasy person. Who do you see as a fantasy impact player this year?
Ooh, that's a good question.
From the Broncos, obviously. Yeah.
From the Broncos, yeah. Well, I like the sneaky value you get of that rookie running back
Hmm.
um, from North Carolina.
Yep.
yep.
Yeah,
Javante Williams.
Javante looks really good. Obviously, that was almost painful as a Viking fan because that brings back memories from last year, and our run defense was just terrible. But I would look
Okay.
to sneak him in a late value pick. Um, that is kind of a running back committee that can be scary to take one from because you don't know where that three-headed monster is going.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I might avoid that. But I've always drafted Noah Fant when I can get him, and I still see good things for him this year. Uh, I think that's a safe pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Noah Fant has drawn comparisons to Darren Waller's breakout season of last year coming up. So hopefully people get on him a little bit. But we'll keep it pushing and preview our game for this upcoming weekend, which is against the Seattle Seahawks, Saturday, August 21st at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Minnie, tell me what you know about that game. Teddy starting?
Yeah, Teddy's starting, and the way things went in practice today, he,
Teddy.
yep, Teddy. Also, this is worth note. Jamal Adams just got a contract extension, and
Huge.
he huge. He's the highest paid. We knew it was happening. We just
Gave him the
didn't know how
bag.
much he was going to get paid. You know, so he's getting 38 mil a year guaranteed. You know, he's getting big money. But also, he might be playing with the ones against Teddy B this weekend. And we're going to have to see how well Teddy B takes that pressure and if he's got the right stuff to not just be that pocket guy. Uh,
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting as far as that's concerned. That everybody's talking smack about the Seattle defense. Let's not forget that they're still always middle of the road, if not better. They're no slouch. You cannot play bad against these guys. Teddy B is going to have to come out with the right stuff to show he's the right guy for the job. And if Drew Lock even comes out against the twos and balls out like he did last week, you gotta take that to account.
definitely. I definitely agree with you. We're on the edges of a great week 2 preseason game. We got more to say about the Vikings as well as the week 1 review of the entire preseason, but make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And if you fuck with us, subscribe so you stuck with us. I'm here with Gerhard Mini. We gonna keep it pushing. Yep.